Welcome to the Yet Come On show with Southside Steve and Jeff Cole. And I'll tell you, this guest is going to help a lot of people. It's going to help you mainly.
Well, help with my life, liberty, and pursuit of show business?
It will.
I think it will. He was nice enough to give us a book, too, which we'll get into. But
yeah,
I'm looking forward to reading it, and maybe things will happen for us. Maybe you can hit your wagon in my train, huh?
Yeah, maybe I can do that. And we'll show you the book and where you can find the book. And this gentleman also is signed up to do 10 books in 8 years. I think he can pull it off. And he helps not just business people, but he also helps golfers. And he's going to tell you how he can help you get out of your own way. It's all about the mindset. And we're going to get into that and what he does. Now, background, he started off as a comedian that did hypnosis. Maybe that would have helped you as a comedian when you struggled trying to do it.
That seems hard. I want to ask him about that. It seems like doing that kind of comedy show at a comedy club is going to draw up more hecklers or more...
Maybe.
It'd be difficult.
Well, I know
it's hard to do.
Yeah, I know now he does more corporate events, helping businesses and helping people. And he has private, you could actually go to him on your own, unbeknownst to me, and be like, hey, Ricky, don't tell Southside, but I need help. And you could give him a portion of your income, and next thing I know, all of a sudden you're a rock star.
Well.
And I would think that you just did it on your own. Nobody has to know Ricky helped you. Okay. But he does help golfers. He helps different people. He's been on syndicated radio shows like Lex and Terry, who I know those guys. And he's done a lot of radio. But he also does a lot of private meetings. And like I said, corporate events is where he is now. But he's in our studio. He's our next guest. We had him on our radio show. And I thought it was a great segment.
Yeah.
And you realize how much he can help you. Mm-hmm. People like you, people that...
Look, you need help too. It's not just me. You could use some help too.
What? No, I mean, two failed marriages.
Well, I wouldn't say failed. They didn't last. I think that's a bad term, failed marriage. It's just that things just don't last always,
Your son is right now at Georgia Tech still crying over the first one.
No,
you think he's fine?
He's busy.
He's busy? Okay. Enough of Jeff. Let's find out how Ricky can help me, help you, and help you. It's Ricky Kalmon on the Yeah Come On Show podcast.
Come on up.
Ricky Kalmon on the Yeah Come On Show. What's up, buddy? I love it.
It's all good, man.
It's all good. Woo! Let me tell you, this podcast is all about life, liberty, the pursuit of show business. And that's what Ricky does. He helps people achieve those goals. Now, I'll tell you that Yeah Come On Bourbon Whiskey, the proud sponsor of the Yeah Come On Show, this is how we met.
Life's about who you meet and the people you stay in touch with. And we met over tasting bourbon.
We did.
And I thought that was really, really cool. I didn't even know who you were when I was standing there, because we were just standing there and we had a choice of which bourbon. You looked at me and said, well, you should try that one. I'm like, okay. And so you got the bottle out and you poured it, and I tried it with my brother-in-law. Was standing right there. We both looked at each other and like, this is really good. And you looked over at us and go, that's mine.
It's mine.
It's mine. And we're like, what?
You're like, you're kidding me. And then I'm like, no, spin the bottle. I'm like, there I am.
Like, that's holy me. Cow. 20, 30 minutes later, we're exchanging phone numbers. It's pretty cool.
Well, your one-liner was pretty cool, too. The party we're at, just to let you know, has got a table full of like 50 bourbons, and they're all, some of them very expensive.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what are you doing? He's got his whistle pig out. He's got this. He's got that. And we're at this party, and it's a client party. And we're, it's just all friends of this individual, Steve Beach. I call him Beach, but Steve Beacham. And, for me, I was like, Beach is like, come by, bring a bottle of bourbon and hang out. I said, all right. So I'm standing there. So if somebody was looking and they're like, not sure, I was saying, try this one. And that's what happened. I don't think you knew it was an 80 proof. Did it shock you, the taste profile, just to give it a little love?
Very much so. Very much so. And I think you sold 80 cases that night.
Yeah, I did. You went to Total Wine.
We went to Total Wine, and I think we cleared them out.
Thank you.
We cleared them out. And I'm not kidding, because I even sent you talked about this, I sent you a picture of us at Total Wine filling the cart with as many bottles as we can get. And we gave them out to people for the holidays. And we thought it would be a great gift and help promote you. And
so kind.
They're not sitting at home. I'm gone. I'm empty. I just told you, came in earlier today. I said that was my last bottle that I brought in. I had you sign, which is pretty cool. But you know what? It is unique. When you're standing there and you're at a party, you don't know people, the best part is just you meet people.
Yes.
You never, ever know who's standing next to you. Some of my biggest clients in corporate, I probably met over the years just in casual conversations, and turned out they were the CEO or CFO of a company, and they were in flip-flops that day.
You never know. You never judge anyone by the way they dressed. I find a lot of times people that are dressing nice are usually, I'm not going to use the word poser, but they just kind of want you to think that there's something. There has to be a level, and you've met these kind of people, and I think maybe I have too. When you get to a certain level of success, you just don't worry about some of the things that people climbing the ladder do.
Yeah.
Is that if that makes sense? I do think you should always dress nice. I don't think flip-flops. But in other words, you don't ever know who you're talking to. And for me, I had a gimmick. This was a gift to myself. I bought it in 2004. It's the only Rolex I ever wanted. It's the only watch I ever wanted. And just like my first Harley Davidson, I waited and waited till I could afford exactly what I wanted. But I feel like if I'm wearing the worst clothes in the world, if I'm wearing this, at least you know I got something going on. And that's what I do. But that's my mindset. And we're going to explore mindsets because that's what you do. But I love how you chuckle, and you've been on bigger shows than ours. And, the fact that you, like Jeff said, comedy and hypnosis. Jeff has tried comedy. I do comedy in every promotion I do, but I've never done just stand-up. I didn't.
Neither have I. I've never done stand-up my entire life, and I probably worked in the 90s 140 weeks, a year on the road.
Wow.
Just crazy. Well, that doesn't make sense.
Well, no, you worked at 140
sorry,
days.
4 days. I'm sorry, like 42 weeks a year on the road. Weeks. I would. Now my average is about 140 days on the road. But back in the 90s, I was 42 weeks. I think I've been drinking.
What's going on?
I just want y'all to know there's 52 weeks in a year.
I know, 142. No, what I'm saying is, I never did straight stand-up. I always
went
those
were those in primarily comedy clubs?
Yeah, it was Wednesday through Saturday.
Yeah.
He did Punchline.
I know, I remember that was the
Punchline,
schedule.
Improvs, Funny Bones, Comedy Zones, even the small independent. In the 90s, I was working wherever I could find someone to give me a stage time.
When you started, were you trying to pursue show business, or did you start out wanting to do sort of the mindset, inspirational, motivational thing?
Actually, the show came first. And that became so popular, and what I found was a natural, transition is that people would come up to me afterwards and say, that was incredible. It's not what I expected. Nobody was in a trance. You didn't make fun of people. They didn't feel uncomfortable. In fact, I'm more comfortable talking to you now about this. How can I use this in my own personal or professional life? So literally in the 90s, I started realizing there's an educational part of this. I knew that I wanted to go more towards corporate in my career. And so I started doing keynotes on having a growth mindset, about using simple tools of relaxation, self-hypnosis to help motivate and help really kind of rewire your thoughts. Because sometimes unconsciously our mind will guide us to a place without even thinking about it. It's like highway hypnosis. Mm-hmm. How many times you ever driven your car 10, 20 miles? You can only remember 10 of them.
Mm-hmm.
That's scary. That is so scary.
Yeah.
I've gotten home and I'm like, how did I get here?
Right.
Yeah.
Well,
no, but no, what you're doing is so cool. And I know that, Jeff, you're looking at it the same way I am. So many people, and if you look right now, you've never been more inundated. And we do a segment on our radio show called Real Reels, or Real or Not Reels, because we're wondering where CGI is being put in or implemented. Is this really what this person said? No, it doesn't match up. But everybody out there is trying to, and I said this on the radio show, everybody's got a cure for type 1, type 2 diabetes. Everybody's got a cure for toenail fungus.
Hair loss.
Everybody's got a cure for making you sick. I don't ever say that. ED. Erectile. Although I will tell you, I do endorse an erectile dysfunction guy. It's AA Medical. Go to aameds.com. They're out of Warner Robins, but that's for people that need it. I don't need it. Do you?
Only if I have too much of the Kalmon bourbon whiskey.
Okay.
That's
all right. Well, we're sidetracking. He doesn't deserve the ED talk. We all know Ricky's a stud. But no, just having fun.
I think I'm highway hypnosed right now.
See, this is our problem. No, but also the one thing you see on social media is people telling you, wear this stone, do this, do that, say this before you go to sleep. and you're going to be successful. But this is a guy that implements and has done it successfully. He's also written a book, and I just want to give him credit for this, Leverage Your Mindset. And this book is fantastic, and he's agreed to do 10 books over 8 years, and one coming out here in the first week of February is actually for golfers. And let me tell you, there's nothing more mental than golf. Somebody can get in my head and screw my golf game up. I think Tiger Woods and some of these people that are so successful have got the strongest minds in the world.
That's true. And Tiger was using hypnosis when he was in his teens. His father introduced a hypnotist, literally, I think he was 13 or 14 years old.
Unbelievable.
And I'm sure to this day, he still uses that training to help him succeed in what he's doing.
Now, and tell me real quick, where can people get this book right now?
Amazon or wherever books are sold, but Amazon is our biggest seller. Yeah, and the next book will obviously be with Amazon, and yeah, it's pretty exciting stuff.
He agreed to do 10 books in 8 years. He's going to be writing. You want to know what Ricky's doing when you call him? Yeah, he doesn't sleep. This one's written to me, but I want to read this one. And you even say, don't try to do it all, absorb it. So you're a chapter a day guy, kind
Here's
of?
my philosophy. Okay. The average person spends an hour and 20 minutes picking up their phone and looking at social media, looking at Amazon, looking at something they might buy or purchase, wherever retailer, and then they put their phone down and nothing even happens. It's a distraction. The average person uses a phone as a distraction to maybe even just look what other people are doing, and then their mind wanders. I wish I was doing it.
Jeff looks at porn.
Okay.
I mean, well, I used
Now
to,
we're talking 3 hours.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Not an hour and 20.
This is Jeff's problem.
Well, the point is,
That's another podcast.
all I'm asking is if you want to make a change, and you get to make that change, not me, 10 minutes a day. 10 minutes a day to reset and redirect. How many times you've been frustrated with something, you walk outside, you clear your mind, all of a sudden everything just flows better. You're in a conversation with something, and then all of a sudden you get distracted and your mind wanders. It only takes about 10 minutes to help reset and redirect to make sure that your intention, your positive intention, is in the right direction.
It's like a meditation. It's the
Absolutely.
meditation
So
every
what I
day.
teach is self-hypnosis meditation, because
Wow.
all hypnosis is self-hypnosis.
Okay.
I don't have this magical power. I can't snap my finger and make you do something.
See, I was worried I was going to wake up on this podcast on all fours barking like a dog. I don't know. I
We're
think
not
that's
done
everybody's
yet.
fear.
We're not done.
All right. I might end up on all fours.
But in essence, really what you're doing is we're hypnotizing ourselves daily. So I'm just showing you how to, kind of reboot. And the book and the mobile app and everything I talk about is just 10 minutes a day. And this isn't rocket science. I'm not going to tell you something you don't already know. Most people know what to do. In fact, the average person, when it comes to even like weight loss, I mean, if you ask the average person if they wanted to lose weight, what should they be doing? I guarantee you they could give you some pretty good things or a structure of what they should be doing. The answer, or the question is, why aren't you doing it? Why? If you know what to do already, why aren't you following through? And
Procrastination or-
that's mindset.
Or again, that tastes so good. You know what? Today's the last day I eat a macaroon.
One more.
Right.
One more.
One more.
One more.
Right. And if you have that mentality, I'm sure that's more than just one macaroon.
No, it goes too far. Do you help also? Do you think you'll do a book? I look at where people need help on gambling.
Addictions, yeah, absolutely.
Addictions of any kind.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I want to mention another sponsor, and he's been with us since day one. It's Ridgeline Counseling and Dr. David Markwell. Dave Markwell, you can go to him, basically davidmarkwell.com, and he helps us, and he's a psychiatrist. And I went to him he approached me when I was going to get married, and he goes, hey, I'll give you wedding counseling or marriage counseling prior to as a bit. And the morning show's like, you need to go. But that was in 2014. He's been with me ever since. So David Markwell has locations. What is your opinion on people? And he works with children. He works with adults. But there is a level of emotions out there. There are people that are not in control of their emotions, and it's scary. And when kids aren't in control, it sometimes leads to suicide. And I think that there's a big problem there. I'm not saying that's your line, but obviously David Markwell with Ridgeline Counseling, that's what he does. And I love anybody that's trying to help somebody. So that's not really your bag of tricks, but that's one of our big sponsors on this podcast.
Absolutely. I'm a big fan of medical counseling and therapy. What I teach is not that. So these are simple tools of self-motivation. I always say that if you need any kind of medical advice, personal counseling, is seek a professional that handles that specific area that can help you through that process.
Yeah,
this could be a tool in that process,
right.
but it's not there to replace medical treatment or counseling.
And again, that's markwelltherapy.com, proud sponsor of the Come On show. But what you're doing, say, we're all twisted a little bit. Anybody in radio, they say is twisted. Anybody that's a comedian, they say is twisted, broken in some way, been through something, or have an odd way of looking at things.
You're human. Everybody has stuff going on.
I don't know why radio has to own it.
Yeah.
Wow, we got to be the only broken people. We know comedians are. But with what you're doing, I think for people that are trying, I think, and we talked about this, there are people out there that are scared of success.
I think so too. I think we also talk ourselves in and out of things. I mean, look, let me give you an example. I mean, let's talk about the simplest of people that can't sleep or stressed out. How often have you heard somebody say, I cannot sleep. I sleep bad every single night. In my world of being in mindset, then my response is, you're absolutely right. And they look at me like, you just did too.
Yeah.
Like,
I just gave the look.
Yeah, you just gave me the look. So, okay, tell me you can't sleep.
I can't sleep. I'm a light sleeper, and I
Okay.
just can't get to sleep. It's hard.
All right, you're right. And then you give me that look again. And the thing is, you're not lying to me, are you?
No.
No, you wouldn't lie to me, would you?
No.
Well, what's the game to lie to me? So I believe you. So you already have the mindset to win to fail. So move on to something else. You're really good at that. And they look at me again with this, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
Well, your mind works based on the last message you sent it. If you say tonight, I'm going to have a bad night's sleep, I always do, guess what's working for you? Your mind, to make sure that you're right.
Yeah.
It wants to fulfill it. So if you say, I'm not worthy, I'm not capable, I'm not good enough, why try if I'm going to fail? I don't want to fail. Nobody wants to fail, so why even try? We don't allow a different scenario in our thought process because we already agree with what's happening in the first place.
Wow.
So what I do is I teach people how to rewire that vocabulary, not only verbally, but internally.
So it's positive words, positive affirmation. It's what the last thing on your mind when you're ready to go to bed. A lot of people say that, and you see that online too. And I'm kind of trying to say, is that fact, or dispel some of the stuff we see where people say this prayer, do this, do that, and you'll have this and you'll have that.
It's a conditioning. I think we condition ourselves on a regular basis to become, well, again, we'll go to this reference of this autopilot without thinking about it. So I coined this phrase, auto thoughts, the thoughts that guide us unconsciously. Let me ask you a question. How unaware are we of being unaware?
How unaware are we?
There are things we know that we don't know.
I like that.
That's Donald Rumsfeld
Yeah.
back in the day.
Okay.
Or
But same concept.
Did you see him gloat? You're gloating. I know, Jeff's all, star for me. No, but that's great. I will tell you that I coined this phrase, I do what I do when I do it.
Yeah.
That's mine. And that's also a T-shirt available at yeahcomeon.com.
That sounds kind of Buddhist.
Does it?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it sounds
you feel
very
good about it.
present.
All right,
Like,
well, you know.
do what I do when I do it. It sounds very
This
present.
is what I'm doing. I dig that. So I would say to somebody, Jeff and I started this podcast because we want people to come on here that have a side hustle. And the side hustle a lot of time is what's paying the bills, because what you really want to do is what we're trying to help you do. So tell us what you want. In other words, do you want to be happy? Do you see yourself doing this or that? Are you trying to start a business? Do you think you're an inventor? Do you think you have something that could go viral? And is your wife hot and you want to put her in the kitchen and start a cooking show to compete with the Barefoot Contessa? Whatever. But it requires money, dreams, hustle, and a lot of people throw the money at it, but don't put the effort into it, and you lose the money. Can't tell you how many people we've had on this show that are involved in a second mortgage or a loan or 2 or 3 failed businesses.
Well, but it takes time to figure out what's going to work. Or are you comfortable with the status quo? If you're comfortable with a warm, fuzzy blanket, that's fine. But would you crave to be more successful? Is it fair enough to be a better version of you? Would you like to be happier, healthier, wealthier, whatever it may be? Well, you have the choice.
Yeah, and it's thing. Is it impossible? And people think when you have that, it's a mindset that it has to start. I'll tell you something that I did, and I saw this on social media. I woke up this morning, like I always do. I stay watching TV too long because my mind's working. I have always thoughts of this show. Mm-hmm. I have thoughts of my radio show. I have thoughts of my bourbon business, and I'm always like, okay, what am I doing? What am I not doing? Because during the day, I'm on autopilot sometimes because I have to go jump on the trampoline with my kids. Because they want to jump on the trampoline. But I'm in a situation where the first thing I did this morning is before leaving, and I was in the guest room because the two kids slept with my wife last night, but I made the guest bed. I made the bed. Mm-hmm. They say, make the bed, brush your teeth, and you're already ahead of the game. Yeah. True?
Listen, structure, and figure out what structure you want. I mean, the habits and becomes, think about it. If I asked you right now, I'm going to ask you both a question right now.
Well, I asked Jeff because Jeff's the more unsuccessful. He needs help. He keeps failing.
Well, okay, let me ask you, and if you're watching, I hope you are.
And if you're failing, it's okay. Let's not fail.
I'm going to ask you a question. I don't want you to think about the question. I want you to rapid fire 3 answers without thinking about it. If you're spending time, you're not listening to the question, okay? Mm-hmm. Rapid fire right now, 3 habits you have. Boom.
Beer, porn, music listening.
Okay, if you're listening right now or watching, what were you thinking? And now think about the answers you just gave me. And where did your mind go when I asked you the question? When I asked you the question, where was your mind? What was your first thought? What was the first thing that you actually thought of? Beer.
That was the yeah.
But did you question the question when I asked you? Did you analyze the question? Were you trying to figure out what was the right answer?
You did. You moved slow. I didn't think you rapid fired it.
No. You
took breaths.
I was thinking. I guess I was thinking addiction.
Okay.
So as you said.
All right, because somewhere in our society, we have rewired the meaning of the word habit, and a lot of people will ask me, right in the middle of the question, "What do you mean bad habits?" That wasn't even the question. I just asked you 3.
And I named bad habits.
Right. So why? And the question is, again, the way our brain is wired to think of habits of being bad. You mentioned brushing your teeth. You do it every day, right? Mm-hmm. That's a habit. You get up, you get dressed. It's a habit, right? Mm-hmm. When you were a kid, you didn't know that. Mm-hmm. Somebody had to engrave that understanding. So in essence, how unaware are we of the patterns and habits that might have served us at one point? Are they guiding us in the best of intentions? Or do we need to step back and hit a pause button and figure out, where am I going unconsciously without even thinking? And wouldn't it be great if I can unconsciously act on positive intentions without thinking about it as well? Because you just mentioned you made the bed. What was the purpose of making the bed? Did you want to make yourself feel good? Did you want to be productive? Did you want to be ahead of the game? Or
all 3 of those.
Or did you want to be a slob, pretentious? Maybe you wanted somebody else's job to do that. I got other things to do. Or did you want to put some accountability towards yourself?
Accountability towards myself. It shows an effort. It shows my wife an effort when she walks in the room. So my things, you did mention bad habits. I see how I've changed as a person because of my kids. So what I do is what I didn't get. I make sure my kids, I say I love you every morning and kiss them on top of the head.
Mm-hmm. It's a habit.
It's a habit. There's never been a morning I don't do it since the day they were born. Mm-hmm. And that's a habit. So I think of them and the love that I'm giving them and, and let them know I'm there. And then I'm like, please, Amanda, please, my wife, do something that she'll go, thank you.
But it's a mindset.
Yeah. Because I want a happy home. And I think it starts with a happy home. If you're single and you got a different challenge, if you're younger, you got a different challenge. I remember myself as a single guy and what I would do and what motivated me, and I liked to clean home and knew I wasn't capable, didn't have the time. So I hired a maid service and my house was cleaned every 2 weeks, and it was perfect. And then I would try to keep it that way. But that made me feel good to walk into a clean home. Sure. So that's and drive a clean vehicle. I think, where do you spend most of your time in your vehicle? If your vehicle's a disarray, I think you are.
So true. But going back to why you answer that way, you're not alone. Most people will question the question.
They'll just associate habit with bad habit.
Exactly. And they'll fire off as quickly as they can 3 bad habits. So you did nothing wrong. You're pretty much typical of the average person. But if you sit there and think about it, if I asked you to pause, think about habits. I gave you a little leeway and give you a little time. Then you'd start diving in and wonder really why I'm asking the question. And so again, it's how we respond to things that truly sometimes matters.
Hopefully this matters. You've got to get his book, Ricky. And again, the name is just as how you find him. It's Kalmon. So I'm just saying Kalmon, but I want you to check this guy out because he's real. I can tell you that over 3/4 of the stuff I look on this phone that tries to help me to be positive and motivational is not real. I think people are just putting things out there. They just want me to spend time watching it. And tell me this much, why is anybody out there that has a cure for something, why do I have to watch 15 minutes of them talking about them before you get to the sales pitch?
It's a little frustrating.
It's the new way of the world.
Right.
But you don't play that way, and I dig it. And lastly,
we don't have time.
No.
Nobody has time. And then you get frustrated. This isn't, by the way, at the end of the day, and I think we talked about this on the phone, one of our conversations. I said, listen, Steve, at the end of the day, I'm not trying to sell anybody anything. I want to sell you on yourself.
Yes.
And if you understand that in my brand, then you're going to go, okay, this stuff, these techniques will work, because at the end of the day, Ricky's not doing anything to me. I'm showing you how to change the way you think.
Right, and I also know he has a heart out because he's a busy man. And I just on my phone, 1111 popped up. I see 1111 all the time. I know there's some spirituality. I know we're in the age of Aquarius and planets are aligning this month. There's a weirdness. There's something going out there, but this is real. This is the power of your mind and your mindset. And I just want to say, I know you're a mindset expert. I know you're a motivational speaker, but you're also a celebrity hypnosis. And it's just really cool what you do.
Nice.
And I want you to close, Ricky. Just tease the golf book that's coming out. Give me the date when it's coming back and let a golfer know why they need to get it.
Well, leverage your mindset.
Good.
A 14-day plan, and I decided and committed to writing 10 books from that series, or 9 more books. The next book, April 8th, available on Amazon, is Leverage Your Mindset for Golfers. So if you're a golfer, you already know the hardest course sometimes is the course between your ears. In that book, I'm going to teach you how to create the right mindset caddy to help you unconsciously make better decisions, play the game you love to play, and because life's too short, and to play bad golf.
Oh, bad golf sucks, and balls are too expensive. And I love the fact that a lot of you guys are prima donnas, because guess what? I go looking for my ball. You know what I do? I find yours. Next thing you know, I got high-end balls in my golf bag. Thanks. It is Ricky Calhoun on the Yeah Come On show. Can I get a Yeah Come On? Calhoun, what'd I say?
Calhoun.
Damn it. Damn it.
I wonder really who's hypnotized here today.
He hypnotized me. It's Kalmon. I said it 3 times. I always say something 3 times. Is that true too?
Is that true?
To remember?
To remember 3 times? Is that true?
I usually forget by the 4th.
Damn it. He's a bad hypnotist. I'm kidding. Ricky Kalmon on the Yeah Come On show with Southside Steve and Jeff Cole. Can I get that Yeah Come On?
Yeah, come on.
You know what you should have done? You should have got the Yeah Come On wrong because I got your name wrong. You should have said Yee.
Oh, no, I can't get that wrong.
Love this man.
It's all good.